But sir, even some Indians would disagree with you. Forget the Pakistanis. Even like I have an ICRIA survey here of Indian businessmen, Indian exporters and Indian importers. First of all, they talk about how endemic corruption is on the Indian end. At least 30, sometimes 30% of total transaction cost goes into the switch bill of trading when it comes to the Mumbai-Karachi route. Now, the same survey indicates that Indian importers don't have the same problem when it comes to Pakistan. Pakistani authorities we talked to said that when Pakistani trucks go into the Indian side, they have to wait longer. When Pakistani rail goes onto the Indian side, it has to wait longer. Transaction costs increase. While on the Pakistani side, the handling is better. It's smoother. It's easier. The Indians give the Pakistanis more trouble. This is on an Indian survey.
I think this is one side of the story. If there is switch trade, you're talking about switch trade, and that's what I'm saying should be eliminated altogether. Why should there be switch trade? Why should there be, why should I, when I'm sending something to...
But you're not answering my question.
I'm answering your question, okay. That when I have to send something to Pakistan, why should I sell it first to Dubai, and a trader in Dubai then reconsigns it and sells it to Dubai, to Pakistan? Obviously,
but that's a procedural issue. I'm talking about.
It's not a procedural issue.
It's a procedural issue because Pakistan and India haven't banged out a plan to open up the lines to each other.
We have opened up. No, that is it, because those are items in the negative list. And that is why it's happening. So we need to address the real issue. And until the real issue is addressed, how do you increase the trade?
What about the corruption aspect? Why do Indian businessmen say that there's more corruption? This is an Indian survey.
Well, I do not know.
That there's more corruption on the Indian side than the Pakistani side.
I don't think this has ever been brought, and I don't think that when you are talking of corruption, you can talk of Indian corruption, not of Pakistan corruption. You know, so I believe that corruption is there both in India and Pakistan. Fine. Now, we must find ways, a system must be there. If the system is correct, there won't be corruption. We need to look at the systemic issue, that these hurdles are there and we need to correct these hurdles. Well, there possibly cannot be any corruption. But if when it is so, you know, there is switch trade taking place, it's so convoluted that trade is difficult, otherwise I don't see a problem. I have been looking, we are looking for products from Pakistan, we are looking for cement from Pakistan. Why should we buy cement from any other country? We want to buy it from Pakistan. But
then you ask for certifications.
That's not for Pakistan alone. When we buy it from Indonesia, we ask for that certificate. What does it take? We say that the cement you're supplying must have these specifications. Please get it certified. In 30 days, it will happen. And now, a large number of cement companies in Pakistan have got that certification, which they did not have for 20 years.
Pakistanis accept Indian certification, which it gives to other countries. The Indians give Pakistanis more trouble. Then there's the whole phytosanitary standards debate, which is going on.
But if a sanitary standard is only for Pakistan, it can be said that
Okay, then bottom line question. In the interest of greater politics and national sovereignty and national security, why don't you give, as the trade minister, why don't you push for special status to Pakistan?
I did that. I went out of my way in SAFTA. And the South Asian Free Trade Agreement between India and Pakistan, I pushed for a bilateral trade agreement between India and Pakistan. Is Pakistan willing to have a trade agreement with India? Agreed. I'm willing to have it next month.
Why has SAFTA failed?
Because Pakistan, it's not failed. Pakistan has signed the agreement, but has not extended to India the benefits. My industry is telling me, listen, you have given them the tariff concessions, but Pakistan is not giving us the tariff concessions. And Pakistan doesn't dispute that. They say, yes, we have difficulties, we have this problem, we will do it, and we will do it in some time. This was told to me at the political level.
The Pakistanis say there's hidden, besides, on that note, you're saying, you're telling the Pakistanis haven't gotten the act together. Pakistanis say there's hidden subsidies in the Indian setup as well, hidden subsidies in the agricultural sector, for example. How does that work out?
Well, as much as subsidies there are in India, today's subsidies are controlled by the WTO. There are subsidies which are defined in the WTO agreements on agriculture. We cannot be having a subsidy which is hidden. Everything is transparent today. All facts, figures are out in the open. There's no way government can be subsidizing something quietly. Okay, so it's all open. And these are permissible subsidies. As much as they are permissible for Pakistan, they are permissible for India.
We have to take a short break here. You're watching Talk Back with Mr. Kamal Nath. Stay tuned. Welcome back to TalkBack. We are with the Commerce and Industry Minister of India. Once again, why has Pakistan not reached its real potential when it comes to the 1-to-3 ratio? What's up with that?
The way to do it is for Pakistan in the first step to subscribe to the SAFTA, which they've signed fully. Number two is to have a bilateral trade agreement with India. I offered this. It was agreed. Mr. Humayun Akhtar Khan and myself announced it in Islamabad together. We set up a joint group to negotiate the agreement, but it's just going too slowly. Then Pakistan was going into elections, Pakistan was going through its own internal issues, and it was put in the back burner. I offer Pakistan a trade agreement with India. I urge Pakistan to fulfill the agreement which they have signed and to implement that agreement. And we have it. Why 2 billion? Today is 2 billion. We'll hit 10 billion in no time. And it's a win-win situation for both countries.
Okay, let's switch gears. No JVs, no joint ventures between India and Pakistan, no FDI environment. Indian experts say, and once again I'm quoting Indian experts, perhaps that'll satisfy you more, is say there's
I'm quite happy with Pakistan experts also.
say that there's interest, but there's no environment. There's no enabling environment. They also say there's no institutional mechanisms for bilateral investment in place. They also, very importantly, and this is interesting, they say that there is a considerable lack of information and awareness in India about Pakistan's trade regime, commercial policies, and business and regulatory procedures. This is a direct quote as well, that the government of India doesn't do a very good job as far as publicizing Pakistan's trade regime and practices are concerned. There is closeness of information when it comes to exposing the Indian investor to Pakistan and its trade policies.
Well, it's Pakistan which should be exposing and publicizing its own policies, not India. When other countries seek Indian investment, India today is not only looking for investment. India is a big investor overseas also. We've invested more in the United States in the last year than what the United States has invested in India. It's Pakistan which needs to be exposing the Indian business community, needs to be exposing the Indian investor for investments, must be telling them about their trade environment, about the investment environment, about the investment climate.
But there is no enabling environment, sir. There's no enabling.
So that's what Pakistan needs to do. And nobody stops Pakistan from saying that Indian companies should invest there. They need to be having this. And I must give credit to the various chambers of commerce in Pakistan, whether it's the Lahore Chamber of Commerce, whether it's the Karachi Chamber of Commerce. I was very impressed with them. I was very impressed by their sincerity. That they came and they said, you know, we want to do this. I said, yes. And they said, in fact, they were telling me that both the governments must work on this. I said, you go and tell your government that they must do this. And they had a lot of sincerity of purpose. And that's why I always say that the business communities connect between our associations, between our chambers of commerce, has to be encouraged. And Pakistan must create within the Indian business community. Why would an Indian investor go to Pakistan if he finds that SAFTA, which has been signed by Pakistan, is not being implemented? Obviously, it is a lack of confidence there.
Why doesn't the trade ministry enable them? Why not?
How do I say, what do I tell them? That Pakistan doesn't do this, but yet you go and invest. It's in the end, Pakistan must attract investment. I can't drive investment.
What about joint ventures?
Perfectly all right. It is again joint ventures between Indian and Pakistan companies in third countries is a win-win situation for both countries. Indian companies today are getting huge construction contracts abroad. Here they can join hands with Pakistan in working towards it. But Pakistan must create, must publicize, and must optically put forth